Welcome, welcome, welcome to Truth Matters with a Z. I'm your host, Daughter of David. Today I want to talk about a story I came across about 2 months ago. It was very, very disturbing, and I've been sitting on it wanting to discuss it, so now I'm going to do that. So on March 25th, 2024, earlier this year, 61-year-old Lolita Hall was driving for Uber, and things took a spin for the worse for her. She was an African-American woman, and she arrived at a South Charleston home. So understand what I'm saying. She's an Uber driver. She's going out to a home delivering or picking up for Uber, and things straight went left. She arrived at the home of 81-year-old William Brock. Now, Mr. Brock is a white or European man. I say that because it does play into the story, okay? She was going to pick up a package that was requested through Uber, and that's where it all went left, okay? So apparently Brock, early in that day, Mr. William Brock, 81-year-old white man, he had been receiving threatening phone calls from a scammer. And the scammer was basically telling him that he had one of his loved ones in jail or locked up, and he needed to pay a certain amount to get him out. He threatened him and things like that. So Mr. Brock is feeling some type of way when poor Miss Lolita Hall shows up at his home. Well, when she shows up at the home, he believes she is working with the scammer. And instead of calling the police, Mr. Brock pulls out his weapon and confronts her. He ends up shooting her not once, not twice, but 3 times, which resulted in her death. Now, Miss Lolita Hall had a dash cam on her, in her car, and the dash cam shows her retreating from Mr. Brock. She is limping. I believe that's when she was shot once in the leg. And you could hear her, kind of protesting, saying, no, it's not that. Or she was confused about what was going on, basically. And he was advancing on her. You could see it on the camera. Then they go off camera. I don't know if she fell or something, but she's calling for help. You hear the gun go off once again, and then for a final time. I cannot tell you how upsetting this was to watch. A 61-year-old black woman being assaulted by this white man with a gun. She's trying to leave, and he will not allow that. Mr. Brock then calls the police and tells them that he shot her. And he believed she was a scammer. But instead of him calling them beforehand and saying, hey, the scammer is at my home, you all need to get over here, or to get her license plate number or snap a picture of her, he decided to shoot her, to follow her out when she was retreating to her car. I believe one report said he took her cell phone. So he pursued this woman and shot her like she was a possum or a rabid dog. I mean, watching the video, I'm telling you, it is so so disturbing.
Authorities warning the public after a phone scam turned fatal. This dramatic dashcam video capturing the deadly confrontation between a female Uber driver and an Ohio homeowner last month after authorities say they were both unknowingly targeted by scammers.
Getting a report of a female that has been shot. She's laying in the driveway.
81-year-old William Brock charged with the murder of 61-year-old Uber driver Lolitha Hall. Police say it all started when Brock received multiple calls from scammers who told him a relative had been arrested and demanded $12,000 for bail, telling him a driver would arrive at his home to pick up a package with the money.
The guy on the phone was trying to get money out of me. He was telling me he was going to kill me and the family.
Authorities believe the same scammers directed Hall through the Uber app to pick up a package at Brock's home. They say this video shows her walking up to his door with no apparent knowledge of the circumstances when Brock confronts her at gunpoint.
So I was threatened that she was going to come and kill me.
You can hear Hall frantically trying to explain why she's there.
I know what you're after.
Police say Brock took her cell phone, and when she tried to get in her car to get to safety, investigators say Brock shot her 3 times. Then he called 911.
I shot her in the leg the first time, and I shot her in the shoulder.
Hall later dying from her wounds. Officers searching Brock's home after the shooting, saying they answered a call from a person they believed to be the scammer who agreed to a meeting but never showed up. Investigators saying they traced that number to Canada, but it's believed to be a burner phone number. Uber banning that account, cooperating with authorities, and in a statement saying, "This is a horrific tragedy and our hearts continue to be with Lolitha's loved ones." According to the FTC, in 2023, there were more than 33,000 reports of family and friend imposter scams like this, and $89 million lost.
And Brock is out on bond and could face additional charges. Authorities say they want to remind everyone that law enforcement will never, ever call and ask for money. Alex Perez, ABC News, Chicago.
He was arrested, and I believe he was charged initially on account of murder, but has since been charged with other felonious acts and kidnapping, which is the right, those are the right charges, in my opinion. I'm no legal expert, but yeah, just the charge of murder wasn't, he did multiple things that were against the law in this situation. He was let out on a $200,000 bond, though, you all. That is disturbing as well. I mean, so he murdered someone in cold blood, and he was able to get out the same day or the next day or whatever. He was able to get out to await trial. Where does that ever happen? Where do you ever see that? He is obviously a danger to the community. He would not even let this woman explain why she was there, or even listen to her, or even just retain her until the police came. He felt like he needed to dole out justice right then and there. What's stopping him from doing it with the next person that shows up at his door while he's awaiting trial? If that don't make you mad, I don't know what will. On top of that, you all, I got really triggered watching the news reports, because I watched multiple news reports, and each news report framed them both as victims. Him a victim of scammers, and this is just tragic. I mean, he was being told that his family would be threatened, and this poor lady, she's a victim as well, being killed, And I'm like, hold up. I'm watching every new, I clicked on every newscast to see how they were framing it. They were all framing it the same way. Even Gayle King, even the football player Michael Strahan, they're all saying the same thing, reading off the same script. That got me really mad as well. Because in this society that we live in, we are being told what to think. We are not allowed to just think on our own. When I initially saw the video and heard some of the details, I'm looking at it horrified, because why would you advance on a person who's retreating? She's an older woman. Why would you shoot your gun at her at all? Why would you shoot her and then call the police afterwards when she's laying in your driveway dying and bleeding out? Do not tell me how to think about this. Do not tell me how to look at this. I see one victim, and she is no longer here to tell her side of the story. Her family no longer has her here with them. I see one victim. I come from a time when I was taught to think for myself. And I know we're not in that time now. I know we're in a time where we're being taught to believe what's being told to us and not use our brains. Don't use your brain. Let me package it for you right here. Put it right here. And you think what I say. You think only what, as far as what I'm putting in front of you. Don't do any independent thinking. We got this for you. I was so angry at seeing this being packaged, no matter which broadcast was sharing this story. And it really is hurtful because it takes away the victimhood of this woman. And it kind of elevates Mr. Brock's victimhood. Oh, he was victimized too. He's still here living and breathing. She is not. She was just doing a job, making extra money, or whatever the case may be. And she's no longer here because he would not just call the police and say, hey, the scammer is here. But he took it into his own hands to assault this woman and murder her. I don't know. I just come from a time when I was taught to think for myself. So I just want everybody to just be careful and be aware of how the media plays right in our faces and tells us what we should be doing and thinking. I just want you all to be aware of that. And maybe watch one story and watch it, from a couple different angles, a couple different sources, and see how they are reading off a script. Just see that. And once you start to notice that, it's going to open up a whole Pandora's box, because you'll start to see how we're being led like sheep to a slaughter. We're being led as an unthinking, brainless flock. So this story was disturbing. The way it was packaged by the media was very disturbing. I'm all the way disturbed, you all. But I want to just bring it back to Miss Hall, Lolita Hall, who tragically lost her life. I'm going to try to follow this story and see how the court proceedings, how they turn out and what he actually ends up with. But I just want to, I just wanted to bring this to light and speak on it, because it just hit too close to home. And the way that it was being packaged by the news reporters and talking heads was just added salt to the wound. So please look up that story if you want to. Follow it if you want to, but you all don't let them do us like this. Don't let them tell us what to think. When we see injustice, we don't need an interpretation of that from anybody. We know what we're seeing. And what I saw was cold-blooded murder. That is all that I have for today. Truth matters. My name is Daughter of David. I am your host. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I really, really, really appreciate your support. Be blessed, y'all.